Hey guys, this is Nick Christopher from Mob Tales. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Today I have a very interesting interviewee, Philip Christopher, who has a very interesting story that I think a lot of you guys are going to probably enjoy. Please like, share, and subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. Our numbers are moving up, and I'm really happy about it. And please leave any comments. That'd be great. Philip, thanks a lot for coming on. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Cool. I like your background. Very nice. Well, to give the audience a little bit of a understanding of, who you were, Philip was a very interesting individual back in the day and dealing with a lot of street guys and some wise guys and stuff like that. And he was involved in a very amazing um, job, robbery, where he acquired the nickname Super Thief. That wasn't even a name that he was even given. It was given from by the authorities, gave him that name, and because of what they pulled off, which is pretty incredible. It's not the only big robbery there ever was, but it was a pretty big one back in those days. And his story was also been penned by a friend of mine, also Rick Perello, who was involved with a lot of other books about the Cleveland Crew. And so, without going too much, giving away too much, I'd like Philip to give us first the question I do have for you. One of them, anyway, is like, what drove you to get involved in this kind of street life? What drew you there, and what pulled you out?
Well, I got involved in the street life, uh, like you say, but because of the where I lived at predominantly Italian neighborhood, and everybody there was not everybody. I take that back, but majority of the guys there uh, were professional burglars, you know, and and anyways, I was like a little mascot to the older guys, and they took me under their wing and took me on the scores. And well, I was like just a driver or lookout or something. That was the beginning. And
Mhm.
then as I got older, and I got to meet more people from different areas, who were also burglars and who were all professional safe crackers and who were all professional alarm experts. So in all, I learned how to open up safes, uh, jump out alarms, and that. And then it got bigger and bigger, and burglarizing bigger stores, jewelry stores, uh, savings and loans, banks, uh, big supermarkets, and wherever money was available, and without no problem opening up the safes because I was taught how to do it. And not only that, I learned a lot of stuff on my own too.
Mhm. Well, this is all in Cle. Is this where in Cleveland, California? Where was it mostly?
Well, I was, like I say, I was born and raised in Collinwood, Ohio, in Cleveland, and we went around different areas. I was, as a matter of fact, I was up in New York on one score years ago, and we did some down in California. I did some in Albany, New York, and also was in Canada. Where in Canada the authorities in Canada didn't like me, so they threw me out of Canada and told me not to come back there no more. Uh, so and of course Ohio. I was just branched out everywhere.
Mhm.
Wherever somebody come up with a score that was with worth a lot of money.
Mhm. So was that, that's a question. That's another. It's one of the questions I wanted to ask was, like you just said, you did something in Albany, you did something in or Ohio, wherever, different places.
Correct.
Now, for the regular schmucks that don't know how that world actually works, like how does it come about where okay, like some guy just comes and said, "Hey, listen, I heard so and so warehouse in Albany's got all this money or it's got all this merchandise." Like I'm trying to explain to the public how does that happen? How does one guy know about this thing or that score? How does that even come about?
Well, most of the times we wouldn't even deal with what somebody has to say about a score, but we listen to them and we think about what they're saying, and if it's feasible, that there's that amount of money. But the main thing we used to do is we used to look for our own scores, jewelry stores, savings and loans, like I said, banks, big supermarkets, retail stores that we knew that they would have a nice sum of money, and
Mm.
not every one of them was ripe for the taking because they might be sit where it was impossible to get away if something unforeseen something happened while we were in the progress of opening up the safe or jumping the alarm. We had to have a getaway. If we don't have a getaway, uh, then we don't even move on it. It's a dead issue.
So isn't it normally the case, the situation where guys like you or your crew, so to speak, usually case a joint for a time, for a certain amount of time to see if it's even workable? Isn't how
Yes,
normally, you guys, that kind of thing comes about?
yes. For instance, we might traveling around when we might see okay, a hypothetical. Say we see a jewelry store. Oh, this is nice. This got classy diamonds and everything. It's a classy store. Now, if the getaway is good for there. Now we start. We first have to look where the wires are for the alarm where they come into. And then we what we do is prior to making our score, I would will all depend where the alarm wires were for the telephone lines. They might be up on the telephone pole. I might have to climb the telephone pole to cut into the line in order to bypass the system and so we can go inside and burglarize it. Then, if everything is a go, then we sit on the place for maybe a few days, a week. Maybe the most I think we ever sat on a place was maybe 2 weeks, and we see how the police roam around and everything. And most naturally, we have all the equipment that we need. We have the walkie talkies and everything is to have not the law on our side, but I'm trying to think of
I know what you mean. I mean,
yeah.
you had access to like radio scanners to see who's around, who's not around, what kind of activity is does the police have in that area to see if it, like
Right.
I said, to see if it's workable. Because if you notice that they're around all the time,
Oh, this is that issue.
it's a no good. You know,
Right.
um, what I find intriguing, forget about what we see on television and the movies. That doesn't really tell you anything. That's just all fantasy. But when it comes to something like this, how do you? I'm amazed at how you guys, guys like yourselves, who have done things like this, are able to find out all this information. Find out, okay, who's coming and going from the store? What alarm system is there? Is there a camera in there? I mean, there's so much goes into it, correct? It's like,
Oh, correct. Yes,
so,
there's a lot to doing a good score that the money there's a lot of money there, and we prepared for everything. Uh, matter of fact, we never even go there with guns or anything. Because that isn't our objective. Our objective is to jump out the alarm, open the safe, open the vault, get in there, get out of there, and that's it. We don't, because we're looking for the law of average. That when the law of
Mhm.
average is on our side, we move in nighttime. We know what we're doing. We case the area. We bypass the systems and we do our job. It's just like going to work in a
I know.
casino. You go in there and
Well, have there, out of all the years that you were involved in this kind of lifestyle, were there any times where guys had a close call?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
I said, in the time frame that you were involved in this type of lifestyle, were there any times that guys had a close call, like you had to abort it and go?
Yes, there has been some times we've had a close call. Matter of fact, I could tell you one particular incident is when uh, uh, it was a jewelry store. Okay, behind the jewelry store was a telephone pole. Up on the top of the telephone pole was the junction box for the telephone lines. So, and it was dark in the back of that alley. But there was a house that was just near the back of the alley. Anyways, I climbed up the telephone pole. I found the wires for the alarm. I dropped the wires for the alarm uh, down to uh, down to the ground, and I hooked it into my box into it and matched up the system that was inside the store. And I wanted to get a foreign ground, so I ran a wire along these bushes in the alley there, uh, back behind the house that was there, and I ran it to tell the wire to the cold water faucet outside. So, the night we did it, went there, uh, and threw the switch, jumped off the system, and put our system on, and uh, and went in there. And when anyways, we went in there, opened the safe, and while I was cutting into the square door safe, there was tear gas inside the safe, but by the firewall, and I set it off. Well, good thing we had our gas mask. So like I say, we come prepared because sometimes there is little vials of tear gas in these safes, and it was choking. But I got the safe open, you know. And the problem was that inside the safe there was another safe, a small one, a round door safe that we call a keister. Anyways, uh, the the anyways we as we went to try to work on the keister, it was the smell was too strong, was choking to death, dry heaving. So we went behind the back wall behind the store, and we opened up a vent that was up near the roof, and we tried to ventilate some of the tear gas out of the room, but it was so strong and potent that we decided that we'll have to back off, and we'll come back on this because we were there on a Saturday night. So we figured we'll come back this Sunday night where they're still closed, and I'll open up the keister. So anyways, we left and everything closed up. Everything made it look like everything was good. So, anyways, what happened was uh, that next day, the person in that house found that wire hooked onto their cold water faucet and traced the wire back into the bushes. And when he went over the bushes, he thought it was a bomb. So he called the police. And anyways, the police came and they figured out that was a burglary going on. So they figured that, anyways, so forth and so on went on. They figured it
Yeah.
all out. Well, it's the jewelry store. So, anyways, I had a cop in my pocket in that area. Anyways, the next day when we were going to make the approach of the jewelry store again, when we went to cruise around, see how everything sat, if there was any commotion of any sort. Anyways, we didn't see nothing. But coming down the street, I happened to see, I could have swore I saw somebody duck down across the street on a roof. So I got a little concerned, but I didn't see nobody. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go call my friend, the cop. I called him up, and anyways, he says, stay where you're at. He says, I'll come down to see you. He come down to see me, tell me that what happens. Uh, so we had to uh, so anyways, needless to say, they were there. They said they were going to try to kill us. That's what he said. Uh, they're waiting for us. They're on the roof. They're everywhere. So we had to back off because that was a close call. If I didn't see that guy up on the roof, ducked down, we would have approached it and got nabbed. So we were lucky on that. That was a what you call a close call.
Oh, yeah, that's a close call, right? That's for sure. Um, in a matter of, let's say, a month's time, let's say within a month, okay? You guys would normally go on how many jobs during that, let's say in a month's time, let's just say.
It all depends. You know, me, I was never a gambler. Okay, but all my partners, the guys I ever ran with, all of them gambled. You know, so I always had a lot of money. You know, so I didn't really need to go any certain period of time then. But then, of course, they come, Phil, what are we going to do? I'm broke. And then most naturally, they'll say, okay, well, let's go find something, unless somebody came to us with a good score, because it seemed like people were coming to my house one particular time, brought it some guy to my house about a score. You don't bring people to my house to tell me about a score. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
You
really,
know,
it's
uh,
true.
so I mean, that's what it got to be. That my name was on the street, but I wasn't bragging about nothing. Just my partners, they were always running their mouth and gambling, and this became a household name. That you want any money, give Phil Christopher a score. He said he'll give you 10%. You know.
Well, now. Were you the leader of this crew, or there wasn't no such thing? It was just everybody worked together.
Well, we all worked together, but I was the main. I was the main guy. In other words, because I would I would make the inn. You know, I would bypass the alarm and I would open a safe. Just watch my back, bring the tools, and I go forward. But then there was other crews from other areas that would invite me on scores, and we all worked together. But my main crew, I was the leader, definitely the leader, because like I say, just carry my tools, watch my back, and I'll do everything else.
Well, now, this is another thing now. For somebody, I'm not sure if you went to school for this or not, but it's a lot of these. Yeah, you should get obviously. Now, how did you learn how to crack a safe? How did you learn to bypass an alarm? How did you know to go to the pole, like you just said, and know what wires to cut? Where did you learn all that?
Well, I learned it from trial and error and running with other crews when I was real young, and I see how they done things, and I would listen to them when they would talk, and then a lot of stuff I learned on my own. And there's a lot of stuff that in regards to the alarms, I had I in regards to the alarms, I had one guy that taught me an awful lot. The guy from Youngstown, Ohio, Uh, he was one of the best. And then not only that, we had a professor in college that taught electronics. So we had him. There was so many things that we had going for us, and not only that, we even had the police working for us. They wouldn't want to give us a score, and because they know we would give them an N from it, and I learned also what I did was in regards to the alarm system. I had I hope my friend of mine had a business, and anyways, joining his business, he had a vacant store. So I asked him if I can use that. So I pretended I was opening up a smoke shop, and I wanted to get an alarm in there, sell cigarettes and that, and I wanted to get an alarm. So I asked them to put an alarm system in there for me, the one I wanted. And he said, "Well, that's a pretty expensive system." I said, "Well, yeah, I know." I said, "Well, I'm gonna have later on. I'm gonna have a lot of expensive stuff in this store, other than just cigarettes." So they put the system in there for me. So with the box that I had and what was shown to me how to make it, I would get on the wires of in my that store, and I would go ahead and jump out the system, and then I learned how to do it real easy, and it became nothing to me to do it. So in other words, I was learning how to do it quickly, and make sure everything was right, and I didn't have to worry about any police rolling in on me.
Well, you started at what age when you started doing this kind of stuff?
Oh, I
Maybe.
started. I think the first score I went on. I think I was like 19 or 20,
Hmm.
something like that. Just shortly out of high school. A little bit longer out of high school, but I would hang around down this bar, there was a couple of bars in my neighborhood in Collinwood that where all the burglars, all the gamblers, and the mob guys and everything will all come, and I hang around and rub shoulders with them, and like I say, I became like a mascot. And, they took me, they took me on a score, like I said, to either drive the car for them or listen to the police radio for them and let them know, or in that nature of things. That's how I really got to uh, become really knowing all of them.
Mhm. What was that? Was there any mob associates that or mob guys that you got involved with or did business with at all?
Well, yeah, it was Jimmy the Weasel Fradiano,
Italiano.
Fradiano Weasel. Got involved with him up in California.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, it was with him, and well, he's the only one that actually was involved
Mm-hmm.
in the actual part of in the burglary. But I knew a lot of them, rubbed shoulders, a lot of them in that. So
Oh, okay. Now, getting to the one of the main important things that the book Rick Perello wrote with you, which was the big, the heist that was done in, I think it was 1972, uh,
correct.
the California Trust Bank, I believe, or California Bank. And I don't know how much it was. I just know it was a lot. Um, but it was, it was pretty big, and that's where the nickname Super Thief came from. Um, so can you give us a little bit of a background on that?
Well, friends of mine out of Youngstown, they they came to me. They called me, and I went up to see them, and they told me about this score in California. and they said it was sat very well. In other words, was able to get away if something went wrong, and it was in a very wealthy area. And they said that it looked like it probably have a lot of money in it, you know. So they said they sat on it, and they says police hardly ever go around it at all. So they invited me on the score. You know, I asked them if I could take one of my partners with me, and of course they says yeah I could. And then we went to California. We flew there, and my partner, of course, he forgot to bring our phony ID. We get on the airplane that day, and so against my better judgment, I got on the plane anyways. I had to use my actual ID. So anyways, the two brothers, that was their score, so they were like the lead men, you know. But they talked over with me about certain things about the alarm and all that, and we watched the place together in the evening and seen that it was really quiet. There was a bar at the far end of the little shopping center that it was in, and there also was a construction trailer, which there was a night watchman in there. It was not very, it wasn't close, but it wasn't far away either. So we had to take all these things into consideration. So, anyways, after watching it and everything, it said we were ready to make our move on it, and so that's what we did. You know, we put it all together, and we uh, jumped out the systems inside. Well, we had, matter of fact, we had a problem actually at the beginning of the score, as when we got up on the roof, we cut a hole in the roof. Excuse me, and we went down into the on top of the bank vault, and then climbed down the ladder, a steel ladder that was hooked in the building, going to the roof. We climbed down that into the area of the bank. Anyways, we put a ski mask over our head, of course, because you don't know if there was you know, we don't want, if the alarm went off, we don't want our face to be seen. So we did that all right, you know. So, anyways, uh, after we were in there, um, inside, the guy I was with who invited us on the score, he went checking out the wires on the system, which he was a good alarm guy too, you know. And I watched them, you know, go through it and everything. And anyways, and I said, well, anyways, we couldn't find the alarm wires, and we figured, well, what the hell is going on here? So anyways, we climb back up on the vault, and then we find a conduit pipe. So we cut into conduit pipe, but that was only AC. It was for power going into the bank vault, for probably the lights and everything. So it wasn't there. So we were just baffled. We couldn't figure out where the hell alarm wires were. The bank was attached to a big drugstore, and we were wondering if somehow they put the alarm wires in that store, you know, with the. So anyways, so we backed off the score. We closed up the hole and make it look like there was nobody there. And so anyways, we climbed down off the building, and we went back to the condo that was rented. And we sat around there, trying to figure out where in the hell it could be, you know, because we looked outside, and only place that we could see the wires coming in was where we thought the alarm should be. So, anyways, at that time, I used to run a lot. I used to go jogging. So where our condo was, we had a joining golf course. So it was, of course, it was warm, California. So I said, I'm going to I'm going to go out for a jog, try to relax. So, anyways, I went out jogging, and then the next thing you know, something dawned on me. Oh, I wonder if this is an old type system in there, because we're looking off for the newer type, like we're used to in Cleveland. I mean, in Ohio, you know. But so, anyways, it dawned on me that, anyways, after I turned around, went back, and I brought them up to speed. What I thought was might be what the alarm might be. They said, yeah, it's a possibility. Anyways, then the next day, so we figured, we're gonna go back there and see if this is true. Anyways, we climbed down inside again. We went to the old schmeal and find a wire. We found the wires. So we bypassed the wire. So, but we had to be concerned about the bell that's outside, because once we got to make sure that doesn't go off. So we had to go outside and put foam in the bell, so it froze the bell from clanging. And matter of fact, there was a light out there, a big overhead light, like a big street light that was shining on the part where the bell was at. Anyways, the problem was why we had to knock that light out is because in putting the foam inside the bell, a lot of it ran down the wall and was very noticeable. Just in case for unknown reason, the cop did come around, he was spotted right away. So we tried to wipe it off, as best we can. So after that, when we started, we needed sandbags to put up on the roof to put over the top of the dynamite, so it would muffle the sound. So we got our bags and filled them up with sand, and the two brothers were up on the roof, and me and my partner on the ground were putting the sand in the dirt in there, not sand, but the dirt in there, and they were hoisting them up. So after they got them up there, I went back up on the roof, and then we had to we started drilling for put the dynamite in the holes above the vault. Anyways, then we put the sand, the bags of dirt on top of it, the muffled sound, and then so anyways, we blew a hole in the vault. And the funny part about it, while the two brothers were down inside moving stuff out of the way, I come walking over to the side of the building where my partner was down there watching out for us on the ground, and he says, "Well, when are you guys going to blow?" I said, "We did." Well, so I didn't hear it. I said, "Well, that's the reason we put the sandbags on there for. What's the matter?" you know. So, anyways, after out the concrete, of course, we had rebar in there, so we had to use a sailing torch and cut the rebar out. And then I put my partner put the ladder up. He come up on the roof, and we pulled the ladder up on top of the roof and left it there. And we all went inside the vault, and we started taking opening all the safety deposit boxes in the safe inside that. And we filled up. It looked like Santa Claus coming up the hill, because it was a very steep embankment. I mean, maybe about 80 feet or 60 feet, something like that. That I had to go up on our way going back to the condo that we rented. Anyways, we went in there, and anyways, they were. I was exhausted. Charlie, my partner, and a couple of the other guys who were involved. And then there was a guy that sat was a nephew of the brothers that sat in the condo listening to the police radio with a walkie-talkie. And then there was the other brother, another nephew that was driving around in a car in case something went wrong, we already had a where they could pick us up right away if something went wrong. We had to. So, anyways, they're going through it, and then and I walked over and I asked my partner, I said, how's it going? He says, we're millionaires. We're million. I said, how's that? He says, see that all those bearer bonds right there? There's 20 million, and he said, you got all that to go through yet. I said, oh, I
Wow.
said, where
So
we
how
got?
much, so how much was the take total?
Well, it was over $30 million.
Wow.
You know, and bearer bonds. You know, that's where all the cash was. You know, but you could fence them. You know, there's no problem fencing them because there's no names on them. There's just numbers.
Mhm.
Anyways, that's and then anyways, I went home and me and my partner went home and they came home a different way. They drove the proceeds of the score in a boat. They trailered a boat that one of the brothers bought down their home, and that's how the score went down.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, so how long did it to do to do that specific score? How much time did you guys give yourselves to get it done? Because I'm sure you guys had a
And
time
we
limit.
give it how much time to give ourselves to get it done?
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm sure
Well,
you guys probably think, probably after you cased the joint, you probably said, okay, this is going to take us X amount of time. We got to be out in this amount of time. Well,
we want to get out of there before it gets light. That's for sure.
yes, of course.
We went in on there on a Saturday night, and like I say, we couldn't figure out where the alarm was. So Sunday night is when we actually went in there and did everything, and we got out of there just before daylight. You know, so we were in there a long time. You know, matter of fact, while we were in, I forgot about this one time. While we were in there, uh, uh, somebody came to a cleanup guy came to the door, which we had no idea, and we're all the guy, one of the was a brother-in-law to the brothers, was on the hill watching out, you know, spotting it for us. So he mentioned that there was somebody pulled in the parking lot. Somebody parked in front of the bank. Somebody got out of the car. You know, so we're sitting there inside the vault. No, want to know what the hell is going on here. We didn't think about somebody coming in there and cleaning in the middle of the night. You know, especially on a Sunday night. So we just sat there and listened to the walkie from the guy up on the hill. He needs to give us a count by count what blow what is going on, which he can see. And then my partner, he happens to cough while we're inside the vault. We all were just flabbergasted. Uh, he made this all this barking, made all this noise, coughing. Anyways, so we listened very carefully to see if anything was noticeable, but we can barely hear him, but we barely hear him. But it seemed like nothing changed. So anyway, so we all relaxed again, and then he coughs again. We looked at him. We yell, give him a motion, get get out of here, go up the hole, So me and one of the brothers, we put our hands out, put his feet in our hand. We just like skyrocketed him right up through the hole, But thank God he didn't hear us, So that was a
Wow,
close call.
that is very close. Yeah, no doubt. Jesus. Well, after that whole incident, you got were you arrested after that? After that score?
Yeah, well, no, we went and did another one.
Wow.
We did one in Ohio, near Youngstown, uh, Lordstown Bank, Lordstown. Anyways, yeah, we got what 430,000 in cash that day. It was a couple
Oh,
months later, and that really frosted the FBI. I mean, I knew it. You know, I didn't really want to do it, but the information came about the cash that was going to be there, and so we went and done it. And anyways, after that, they were honest night and day. They had it came out in court that they had 120 FBI agents on us.
wow, that's a lot.
So we knew. Anyways, they believe me, they framed us really, as a God, because there was nothing there. That only bad thing they could have got me on was uh leaving the leaving a state without permission, because I was on federal probation
Mhm.
what do you call hijacking, you know. So that's the worst it could be, and they put they just kept on planting things on in our like they planted two $5 bills, and some money that I had in my house was all clean money. I'm not stupid, you know. And then they said they found a jumping box in in the basement behind a washing machine. That's bull crap, because I wouldn't do that. I'm not stupid, you know. I had all my stuff everywhere else. I don't keep the stuff in my house, you know.
Oh, look, when they get desperate and they can't get you on something, they got to find a way.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh, J. Edgar Hoover was a little mad, I think.
yeah, a little more than that. You made them look bad, basically.
Yeah.
Well, after all that, obviously, you went away and everything. And now we're up to this point now where you partnered up with Rick and you did the book Super Thief. Um, and you're also on some documentaries for Court TV and Discovery Channel, so you did that as well. Um, so currently, right now, the book Super Thief is out. Um, if you
Hold on one second, honey. Could you close that door, please? It's making too much noise. Okay.
That's all right. Well, like I said, you have the book out now with Rick Perello, Super Thief. Um, and is there, from what I understand, that book is in development for a film. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Is there any update on that yet, or this?
Well, actually, it was supposed to start filming last year, but because of the screenwriter strike and then the actor strike,
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
that didn't happen. So now they have to reorganize, because I'm sure there's more money's ready that want to be gotten by the whoever's going to play in the movies.
Hmm.
I know they had um, Hayden Christensen, who was supposed to play me. I know they've talked to Mel Gibson. I know they talked to the last thing I think they had was that Jeremy Renner, who was going
Hmm.
to play FBI agent in the movie. And from what I excuse me, from what I understand, that they plan on doing a film this summer if everything goes right, So I mean, it's they've been wanting to do this for quite some time now, and they're so close, and I'm betting they're going to do it this summer.
Oh, that sounds awesome. All right.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a while.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Believe me, I'm working on one of my own. I know what you mean. Um, now because we're running out of time, obviously, but if people wanted to find out more about you, find out more about the film production, find out more about the book, would there be outside of Amazon? Is there anywhere else you want where you would guide any people to look to find out more about you and find out more about the project?
If they want to find out a little more about me, they can go on YouTube because there's a documentary that's out on me.
Right.
Uh, uh,
Is that the one with Court TV?
I'm sorry.
Was that the one with Court TV or Discovery Channel?
No. Well, I'm not sure. All I know is on YouTube. It was on. Well, probably where you're at is might maybe different programs, but YouTube, well, I guess, is pretty
Pretty
nationwide,
universal.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, you go on there and you pull up Super Thief, and it'll play the movie for you for free. The
Right. Yeah.
documentary.
The documentary. Yes. I know what you're talking about. And of course, the book is on Amazon, as you said.
Yeah.
Um, so that's where people can find out more about it. So without, I mean, I'm definitely happy to have you on the show. It was very interesting. I want to get the book myself. I'm very curious.
Oh,
uh,
there's so much into the story that I haven't even touched on. I mean, there was people involved in it. Or Frank Sinatra. There was Jimmy the Weasel and other people in our corner trying to help us out. But the door got slammed on us. From the Justice Department. They just they didn't want to hear nothing about nothing. Because Frank Sinatra called Mary Alioto in San Francisco and talked to him about uh, trying to talk to the judge. I'm sorry, talk to the judge. To be a little more lenient or something, give him a break. Anyways, the judge hung up on him. You know,
yeah, I
and,
can believe that.
so.
I know. We can probably go on forever
Oh
discussing.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
forget about it. I can imagine. Um, that's why I want to leave a little bit more to the imagination for the audience. So, they can look into more about you and about the book and so forth. So, like I said, it was definitely a pleasure having you on the show, Philip.
Well,
Uh,
thank you very much. I appreciate that for being able to get with you on this, Nick.
oh no, it's all good. I definitely appreciate it, and I wish you luck with the movie.
Thank
And
you very much.
I'll definitely for people out there listening, check out Super Thief by Rick Farello, which is about the story about Philip Christopher and his interesting escapades into that world. And again, thanks a lot, Philip, and we'll definitely check in again.